Most photographers think being talented is enough to build a profitable business. But here's what's crazy. Some of the best, highest rated, award-winning photographers are also broke. I once paid $3,000 to learn from an award-winning photographer who stood on stages at national conferences. And at the end of the day, when I asked about his business, he told me he didn't make any money. That's when I realized being a great photographer has almost nothing to do with running a profitable photography business. By the way, if you're new to my channel, I'm Sarah Petty, and today I'm breaking down the 6 business skills that most photographers completely ignore, but are critical if you want a family-first, profitable business. They're skills that separate photographers who are busy and broke from photographers who are actually making money. Skill number 1, and this is huge. Most photographers have no idea where their profit actually comes from. Just because you're charging $500 for a session doesn't mean that's all profit. You have costs, your time, your equipment, your editing, your products. And if you don't understand those costs, you have no idea if you're actually making money. I see photographers all the time who are busy and they feel successful because they're booking lots of sessions. But when you look at their numbers, they're barely breaking even. Or worse, they're losing money on every session and don't even realize it. If you're selling high-res digital files, you might think they're more profitable. Say a client's giving you $200 for all their digital files. You think, oh, that's 100% profit, but it's not. Because first off, your time costs money because you have to pay yourself. So the profit you think you're making is getting eaten up in those hours you're spending editing and retouching. Then as you grow, you have other expenses. You're gonna need to hire people. You're gonna need equipment. You're gonna need computers, all of those types of things. So all of your profit is gone paying others to edit and retouch and insurance and all the things you need to run your business. Cash flow management, you're not going to want to hear this, but it means tracking every dollar that comes in and every dollar that goes out. It means knowing your cost of goods sold on every product you offer. It means understanding your overhead costs and building those into your pricing. It also means planning for the slow seasons. If you make most of your money in the fall, but your expenses are consistent all year round, you need to save money during the busy season to cover your costs in the slow months. And if you don't, you're going to hit January and have a huge panic moment because you have no cash coming in. Now, just to give you a really quick idea of what your cash flow should look like when you sell wall portraits and prints, you want to keep your cost of sales between about 20 and 25%. Cost of sales, remember, are the costs that go into your client orders, like lab fees, printing fees, framing fees. Your fixed costs, which are things like insurance, automobile, if you have a studio, things like that, that you're paying whether you have a client or not, should be about 30 to 35%. And that leaves you 40 to 50% net profit when you're running your business using the profitable boutique model. Cash flow management isn't fun or creative work, but it's the difference between having a hobby that keeps you busy and having a business that actually makes you money. The second skill, knowing when and what to outsource. This is counterintuitive because most photographers think they need to hire a full-time employee before they can strategically outsource. But here's the truth. You don't need a full-time employee to start outsourcing strategically. This is actually a critical business skill because you need to start thinking like a business person, not just the creative. Let me show you why this matters by walking you through what typically happens when photographers try to do everything themselves. Here's what happens. Start getting clients. You're photographing, editing photos, retouching, managing your social media, responding to emails, and you're drowning. You can't get all the work done. So you think if I could just hire someone, everything would be easier. We call this being stuck in quicksand. You're making enough money to feel like you're getting movement, but not enough profit to actually hire an employee. So you're stuck. This is where outsourcing comes in. The first thing that photographers can easily outsource is editing and retouching because you don't grow your business by sitting at your computer editing photos. You grow by photographing more sessions, selling, and marketing. And literally, you can outsource your editing for a fraction of what it would cost to hire someone. And what we do is so seasonal that you're paying someone when you don't have any clients, but when you outsource, you just pay for what you need when you need it. If you build the cost into your pricing, which you should do, it doesn't hurt your profit at all. Just frees up your time to actually make more money. I made it to $235,000 in revenue before I hired my first full-time employee. And I did that through strategic outsourcing of editing, retouching, album design, graphic design. Anything that didn't require me personally, I found someone else to do. Skill 3, time management. Most photographers are completely reactive instead of proactive. A potential client emails you and you drop everything to respond. You see a comment on social media and you spend 20 minutes replying. Someone asks if you're available for a session and you fire off an email without getting them on the phone and talking to them immediately, wasting valuable time going back and forth. You're reacting to whatever comes at you instead of managing your time strategically. Here's what time management actually looks like in a photography business. You block out specific times for specific tasks. Monday mornings for me are responding to emails and getting my week planned. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays are productive days. Those are sessions in the morning and sales appointments in the afternoons. Fridays are for marketing again and planning my weekend for my family and then the next week. When you're reactive, you feel like you're busy all the time, but you're not actually moving the business forward. When you're proactive and you manage your time in blocks, you're getting more done in less time and you're way less stressed. This also means planning your year in advance. When are you going to run promotions? And I don't mean discounts. Don't be discounting. When are your busy seasons? When are you going to take time off? What are your goals? If you don't plan this out, you'll end up working every weekend for a year and wondering why you're burned out. By the way, if you want help staying focused on what actually moves your business forward, I've created a free one-pager that I use myself and have since day one. It helps me know exactly how to be productive tomorrow, so I'm not reacting to whatever comes in. The link is in the description below. Grab it and start using it this week. Fourth skill, planning ahead. And this directly ties into time management, but it goes so much deeper into your actual photography business. Most photographers wake up every day and they think, what do I need to do today? That's not planning, that's surviving. Planning means you know what you're working toward. You have revenue goals for the year. You know how many sessions you need to book at what average to hit those goals. You've mapped out your marketing calendar for the next 30, 60, 90 days, and you're not just reacting to whatever happens. You're creating what happens. I plan my entire year in January. I know when I'm running events, when I'm taking time off, when I'm focused on booking new clients versus when I'm focused on delivering finished products. That way I'm never scrambling at the last minute, throwing a terrible mini session out there with little baby chicks the week of Easter. You don't need to do that anymore, my friend. But planning also gets really specific when it comes to your client bookings. So when you have a session coming up, you need to plan for it. What's the location? What's the lighting going to be? Have you engaged with the client and you know personalities and they know what to wear and you know what products you're photographing for? Before the sales appointment, you've got to know what images are you showing them? What's the presentation flow? What products make sense for their family? Are all of the decision makers there? Those all take planning and communication. Planning more than anything really means having systems in place. What happens when someone inquires about a session? What's your sales process? What's your delivery timeline? How do you set those expectations with your clients so they aren't freaking out on you? If you don't have these things planned out and systematized, you're reinventing the wheel every single time. Skill number 5, branding. Here's the thing. I see most photographers pick a business name because they just want to get started. They don't think about what that name communicates or how it positions them in the market. Then it gets worse. A lot of photographers, their website name doesn't match their name. Their email signature is different. Their social media presence has nicknames and middle names, and everything is not cohesive. And they wonder why people are confused about who they are and what they do. Branding isn't just about having a pretty logo. It's about consistency. Every single touch point with a potential client should reinforce the same message about who you are and what you offer. If you're trying to be a high-end portrait photographer, but your business name is Shoots and Snaps Photography or Budget Family Photos, that's a branding disconnect. If you're trying to position yourself as an artist, but your website looks like it was built in 2005, that's a branding problem. Your brand sets the tone for what people should expect, and it's got to be consistent everywhere. Your website, your social media, your email. Stop using a Gmail address. Even the way you're dressed and answer the phone, okay? This doesn't have to be expensive or complicated. It just has to be intentional and consistent. And finally, skill number 6. And this might not seem like a business skill at first, but it absolutely is. And that is scanning for how you can add value to people's lives. Here's what most photographers do wrong. They post now booking like crazy on their social media, adding a booking calendar to their website and waiting for people to just magically show up and book them. And they wonder why they're not getting clients. Or if people are doing that, they're booking you because you're cheap. If you want to grow your network and add more clients, you've got to get comfortable having conversations with people. But here's the key. You're not looking to sell. You're scanning for life moments where you can help. Because photography isn't just about pretty pictures. It's about helping people hold on to what matters most. Every time you're out in the world at your kid's soccer game, at the coffee shop, at a networking event, you're paying attention to what's happening in people's lives. Someone mentions their aging pet, someone celebrating their last baby before the kids are grown, someone has a blended family and they're trying to make everyone feel like they belong together. Those aren't just conversations, my friend. Those are opportunities to solve a real problem with your camera. And here's the thing. It doesn't always have to be photography related. Maybe someone mentions they own a company and they're hiring. You can help by recommending someone you know. Maybe they're planning their daughter's wedding and feeling overwhelmed and you recommend a vendor you trust. You're still forming a genuine connection with this person by adding value to their life. Or maybe they're going through a meaningful life transition and they could use portraits to remember this moment. Listen, the more people who know, like, and trust you, the better. And it's crazy how many opportunities have come up for me just by having genuine conversations with people and looking for ways to add value to their lives. Because here's the truth. When you wait for people to search for a photographer, you often get price shoppers. But when you take control of your marketing by genuinely connecting with people and solving real problems, you book right fit clients who are grateful, excited, and ready to pay you. The photographers who succeed are the ones who can have a conversation, spot a life moment, and show up as the solution. And that starts with genuinely caring about helping people and being willing to have those conversations. Listen, these 6 business skills aren't the fun, creative parts about running a photography business, but they're the parts that determine whether you actually make money or just stay busy. Listen, if you want help building a profitable portrait photography business in 2026, book a free call with my team and they'll walk you through what that looks like.